My name is Eoghan McCabe, and I apologize in advance for my horrifically awkwardly spelled name. I'm from Ireland, and that's why my voice sounds a little awkward also. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Intercom. And before Intercom, I was freelance web designer for maybe 8 years, and then I founded an agency called Contrast, did that for 3 or 4 years, then spun out a startup called Exceptional, and that was acquired last year. And so we've recently founded Intercom. We're maybe a year into our journey so far. We raised some venture money at the start of the year. We're 14 guys now, seeing some awesome growth. We started charging a couple of months ago. We've got a few hundred customers. All is going really well. And when I heard about this talk, I thought that this would be a great opportunity to A, say that we're hiring, and we're currently hiring a head of product design, and this person will own all of the products that we create. It's a very, very senior role. It's probably one of the most important roles in the company. But B, also share some simple ideas with you that I'm very passionate about. I made this for you, the designer who wants to be a founder. When I say you, that's the person that I'm speaking to. And I'm a true believer, a genuine believer in designer founders. I really absolutely am. However, because of the unique nature of designer founders, that thing that gives them so much opportunity, there are a few key simple mistakes that most will fall into, and I'm just worried that you might fall into those too. So there's just a few little ideas that I've had to learn the hard way. So I've always said to people and reminded myself that the best way to create a good presentation is to make people laugh and tell them what they want to hear. So with that definition, this will not be a good presentation. This is a serious talk, and these things are not things that if I was a designer, especially one that was looking to be a founder, that I would enjoy people saying to me. I'm sorry. How do we get here? What is here? So we're in a really interesting time in that right now it seems to be a special idea. In my head, I think of it as a meme that designers might actually be founders. This seems to be like a unique, special thing. We've got websites. We've got a whole fund. We've got this series of events, which is like the intersection of design and startups. It's awesome. But why is this a special thing? Why should not designers be founders? And I think that what we really need to remember is that we are specifically in a technology industry. We've all been doing this so long. We're just stuck in this technology world. We read all the technology outlets. It's all we've known. But we forget that it's a very specific industry. It's internet technology. There's so many other industries. We're in internet technology. It's so specific. And the reason that internet technology is so interesting, as in the reason it can cause a whole city to double its property prices in a year, is that internet technology has enabled insane growth, fantastic ways to reach billions of people. It's so new. And with the advent of this kind of technology, the frontier, like Jason was alluding to previously, was simply the technology itself. So if you could simply deliver some of this new technology to the world, you'd win, you'd benefit. You could actually profit from that in and of itself. But the frontier has actually moved forward such that a lot of technology problems are now solved. We live in a fantastic age where I can use something like Heroku as a designer to deploy a Rails app for $0. That's amazing. Even 2 or 3 years ago, that was not possible. So the technology frontier has gone so far such that the opportunities for innovation are now moving into amazing experiences that you can really tangibly connect with people on an emotional level. So that's how we got here. I want to talk about one specific idea of what here is. And I don't really mean to offend. I'll sound like a little bit of a jerk, perhaps. But basically, this world that we're in, this industry, this place, it's a place where a 19-year-old designer will be offered 6 figures, nice 6 figures, and receive cold phone calls from the CEO of a public company. These things happen in this world. And what does that create? What does that really do to a 19-year-old? If me as a 19-year-old, all the way from Ireland, got a phone call from a CEO in a public company and he said, I will pay you $200,000 if you work for me, for this famous company, what the fuck would I think about myself? I would think I'm the most important thing in the whole wide world, and I would probably retweet something like this. Now, there's nothing wrong with this per se, but these designers, of which I've been one and sometimes am, the most popular and most interesting and most innovative and most talented designers have got wrapped up in this amazing world such that they believe that they are the internet. They are the internet. And like, I get it, design thinking is a wonderful process. I get it that everything that we use needs to be designed, but they are specifically not the internet. They are not the internet. We are in a technology industry, and design needs to know its place, and us as designers, we need to know how we fit into the puzzle. So this kind of thinking, it's not only naive thinking, but it's dangerous thinking if you want to be a founder. And so I want to just share 4 simple ideas that I'm really, really passionate about, I believe are really important. Feel free to question them. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've come across these things over a little while. The first is, quite simply, it's a no-brainer. It's so obvious that it's incredibly easy to dismiss. But if you do not actually understand the actual technology, remember, we're in a technology industry. I know that sounds like I should not have to keep saying this, but we're actually building technology here. If you do not understand this technology as a designer, you're in the wrong field. Like, it would be insane if I met any of you and I said, hey, I think there's really big opportunities in plumbing. We should start a plumbing startup. By the way, we're both sweet designers, so fist bump will probably kick ass in the plumbing industry. That's insane. It's so wacky. We chuckle about it, but it's so fucking insane. Yet, designers are starting technology companies. Designers are starting technology companies. I love designers, but if you are just a designer in a technology industry, you're in the wrong industry. So you need to start to think about design very much as a force multiplier. Like I said, the frontier started with design, now it's started with technology, it's moving out beyond that into design, but it's still based on this technology foundation. And so you need to think of it like a force multiplier, but you need to have that force. If you do not actually understand the technology, and by that I mean if you do not actually understand how it works, if you cannot read a line of code, if you do not comprehend how your infrastructure fits together, you are in the wrong field and you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So my simple recommendation there, and it sounds daunting, but it's totally achievable, especially today, either learn how to code and build this technology or partner with someone who does. So simple. The second idea is this. If you are absolutely and completely passionate about the process of designing, founding a company will make sure that you never get to do designing. So being a great designer is a fantastic way to think about the problems that building a business involves. And indeed, building this wonderful technology and delivering it with fantastic experiences will be helped by you being a fantastic designer. But I've always said to people that my best definition of a CEO is basically the best way to think about it, I guess, is to think about all the roles that you might think. You think about all of these various roles. You might go to some business's jobs page and you look at, business development and head of design and front-end engineer. A CEO's job is everything that's not on that list. It is all the other stuff, all the other shit stuff. Like if you don't have someone to clean your toilets, that's the CEO's job. That is literally the CEO's job. The CEO does all the other stuff. So if you're actually successful in this endeavor, and I hope that you are, I genuinely hope that you are, you will not be designing. And if you continue to design soon after starting this company, you will not be successful. So designers who start companies don't get to design. And you need to ask yourself if you're happy with that. The next is this. You understand the technology. You're okay that you're not going to get these products so much anymore. The next is to actually choose the particular fight that you're going to take on. People talk so much about product market fit. But what is not talked about enough is founder market fit. And we're familiar with what is an incredible cliche, the pivot. But I think it's a fair idea. It means simply that the product can change. But what doesn't easily change is the founders or the market. Sure, you can swap out some team, but the founders are the core of that business. They are the business. And the market is the thing that represents the opportunity. And if the founders don't fit that opportunity, well, then they won't be successful. You can't change those things. And so you need to pick a market that will benefit excellently from the fact that you're a designer. Both that you're going to have the taste to employ great design talent and that you're going to be able to use design thinking. On one side, this will be a great indicator about who between you as a group of founders should be the CEO. The CEO is the person who ultimately the buck stops with when difficult strategic decisions have to be made. And those strategic decisions will be relevant to that market. So if they are design problems, you should have a design CEO if you've got your tech partner, and vice versa. It's interesting if you look at fantastic companies like Stripe or GitHub, and know, if you know anything about them, that they could not be founded or run by designers. These are engineering-oriented businesses, amazing, fantastic businesses. They're in the category that VCs call B2D, business to developers. They're great engineering companies. They could not be run by designers. So, if you want to find a unique opportunity as this unique, rare entity, the designer founder, ask yourself, what opportunities, what markets could engineers not exploit? Finally, this is number 4. So when we talk about design, we talk about it very much as a set of activities that we do to build a product. We think about Photoshop, we think about wireframes, whiteboards, and that is design in our technology industry. This is how we do design. But a person or a company's greatness being the sum of all its parts, or the complete use of all of its abilities, means to me that if you don't step a little bit back from the little activities that mean design in this industry and use your unique abilities as a designer to use design thinking, you're not actually playing to your strengths. You, as designers, think very differently from engineers. Design is a creative process. Business is not a science. Much of how we talk about startups and technologies today, unfortunately, is incredibly engineering oriented. I only say unfortunately because engineering, the thing that involves equations, formulas, procedures, that is very well defined, is not how one can run a business. Lean startup, for example, is a fantastic idea, but it's the idea of an engineer for engineers. There is no paint by numbers way to build a fantastic business. Business is something that comes from gut. It's an art, it's intuitive. Innovation is absolutely and completely and only a creative process. That thing that helps you intimately understand what people want and to be able to create it and know that you've created it and give it to them and sell it to them and sell it again and keep them as customers. So creative, so creative. It's not an engineering problem. It's not a left brain problem. It's not a thing that engineers can do. So this is your advantage. And that is why I'm so bullish about you guys and about the future. As long as you don't get caught in these pitfalls as founders. The future, where we are at now, as long as you do not get caught in these simple problems, will be owned by designers. So good luck.